Welcome to Miss Scarlett, the place to be feminine. Subscribe and enjoy.
So, how does it feel? Elizabeth asked, her eyes sparkling with excitement. She stood back, hands on her hips, admiring her work. Her son, now daughter, stood before her, a vision in pink. The soft, flowing dress accentuated the curves that Elizabeth had carefully crafted with strategic padding and undergarments. The transformation was remarkable. Her son's broad shoulders were now graceful slopes. His muscular frame softened and shaped to an hourglass figure. Makeup enhanced newly plucked eyebrows and full, pink-glossed lips. Long, wavy wigs cascaded over delicate shoulders, framing a face that was now a beautiful canvas of blush and highlight. I feel... The voice that answered was higher in pitch, modified by Elizabeth's careful coaching, and it trailed off, unsure. You look absolutely stunning, honey. A true princess. Elizabeth beamed, pride warming her. She took her daughter's hands in hers, squeezing gently. This was always meant to be. I should have known from the start that you were my little princess. A shy smile appeared on her daughter's face, and she twirled, the skirt of the dress billowing out, a delicate fluff of fabric. It's a weird feeling, Mom. I feel kind of... giddy. Everything feels so different. I like it. Elizabeth laughed, a light, musical sound. I knew you would. It's a whole new world, isn't it? Come on, let's get you sitting pretty. Your dress is a masterpiece, and I want to make sure it looks its best. She guided her daughter to a vanity table, adorned with an array of makeup, wigs, and jewelry. A throne for a princess. Now, sit. We need to perfect this look. It's your first time out, and I want all eyes on you. Where are we going? Her daughter's voice was curious, a touch nervous. She smoothed the skirt of her dress self-consciously as she lowered herself onto the padded stool. Oh, just a little get-together with some friends. They're all very excited to meet you. And don't worry, they're very open-minded. You'll be the belle of the ball, I guarantee it. Elizabeth picked up a blush brush, dusting a light rose color onto her daughter's cheeks. Now, hold still. We need to make sure this look lasts all night. A whole night? Her daughter's tone rose in surprise, and she fidgeted, her fingers playing with a diamond necklace that Elizabeth had helped her fasten. I didn't realize this was such a big deal. Well, it is. Elizabeth paused in her grooming, meeting her daughter's eyes in the mirror. This is a celebration, sweetie. It's not every day that a beautiful girl like you emerges. We're going to introduce you to the world in style. Oh. Her daughter seemed to consider this, her eyes widening. I guess I never thought about it like that. It's like a debut, isn't it? I'm making my debut as a princess. Exactly! Elizabeth's eyes shone with delight. And you will be the most dazzling debutante any of us have ever seen. Now let's get these false lashes on, and then we can move on to the final touches. Mom, I feel so fancy. Her daughter's voice held a note of awe as she looked around the room. They had arrived at Elizabeth's friend's house, a spacious home filled with warm lighting and the buzz of soft music and conversation. The dress code was clearly elegant, and her daughter fit right in, her pink gown standing out among the sea of sophisticated outfits. You are fancy, darling. Elizabeth looped her arm through her daughter's, squeezing reassuringly. And you're going to be the center of attention tonight. Everyone is dying to meet you. As they entered the main room, conversation paused, and all eyes turned to them. Elizabeth felt a surge of satisfaction as she saw the impressed and curious looks on her friends' faces. She had carefully prepared them for this introduction, and now she was presenting her masterpiece. Everyone, I'd like you to meet my daughter, Andrea. She announced with a flourish,
and a smattering of applause and whispers filled the room. Andrea gave a little wave, a nervous smile playing on her lips. "Hi, everyone!" Elizabeth's friends crowded around, offering warm greetings and compliments. "You look absolutely gorgeous, Andrea!" "Welcome to the group, dear!" "We're so happy to finally meet you!" Andrea flushed, clearly overwhelmed, and Elizabeth guided her through the crowd, making sure she had a drink in her hand and introducing her to each person by name. "I can't believe how welcoming everyone is," Andrea whispered as they paused for a moment in a quiet corner. "They're all so nice." "I told you, didn't I?" Elizabeth smiled, pride filling her chest. "They're a wonderful bunch, and they're all so excited to get to know you. Now, come on, let's join that group over there. I see some curious looks coming our way." The night unfolded like a dream. Andrea was the star, the center of attention, and she blossomed under the spotlight. Her shyness fell away, and she laughed and chatted with Elizabeth's friends, clearly enjoying the attention her new look brought. "Your mother has been raving about you for weeks, Andrea," one of Elizabeth's friends, Sarah, commented as she reflected on her drink. "And now I see why. You're an absolute vision." "Why, thank you, Sarah." Andrea's voice had taken on a playful, flirty tone, and she gave a little curtsy. "Mom has been my fairy godmother in all of this. I can't take all the credit." Laughter filled the room, and Elizabeth beamed, pleased that her daughter was embracing her new identity with such joy and confidence. The party buzzed with life. Andrea shone in the center of it all, her laughter ringing out, a bright sound that warmed Elizabeth's heart. She had never seen her son, no, her daughter, so vibrant and alive. It was as if a caterpillar had transformed into a radiant butterfly before her eyes. "She's a natural, isn't she?" Elizabeth's friend Rachel remarked as they watched Andrea charm a small group with animated conversation and expressive gestures. "Indeed she is." Elizabeth smiled, sipping her drink. "It's as if she's always been a girl, and we just didn't know it." Rachel shook her head, her eyes shining. "It's incredible. And to think, all this time, you must be so proud." "I am." Elizabeth's voice was thick with emotion. "It wasn't an easy journey, but seeing her like this, so happy and confident, it makes it all worth it." "You've done a wonderful job, Elizabeth." Rachel patted her hand comfortingly. "Not every parent would be so accepting and supportive. Andrea is very lucky to have you." Elizabeth smiled, grateful for her friend's understanding. "Thank you, Rachel. It hasn't always been easy, but I couldn't be happier for her. She's embracing her true self, and that's what matters most." They continued to observe as Andrea moved through the party, a graceful figure in pink, collecting compliments and leaving a trail of charmed people in her wake. It was a side of her that Elizabeth had never seen before, and it filled her with a sense of wonder and joy. "It's like she's found her true calling," Rachel mused, following Andrea's progress across the room. "She belongs in the spotlight, doesn't she?" "Indeed she does," Elizabeth agreed, her chest swelling with pride. "My little princess has found her kingdom." The night wore on, and the party showed no signs of slowing. Andrea remained the belle of the ball, the life and soul of the gathering. Laughter and music filled the air, and Elizabeth knew that this was just the beginning of a whole new life for her daughter. "That was incredible, Mom," Andrea sighed happily as they drove home from the party. She had changed out of her pink gown and now wore a comfortable silk robe, her face still bearing traces of makeup. "I feel like I'm floating." "I'm so glad, honey." Elizabeth kept her eyes on the road, a smile on her face. "You certainly lit up the room tonight. Everyone was enamored with you." I could tell. Andrea's voice was dreamy. It's like I stepped into a whole new world. I feel so accepted, so understood. That's wonderful, sweetheart. Elizabeth's voice was warm. And you looked absolutely stunning. You really embraced your new look. I did, didn't I? Andrea played with the sash of her robe, a thoughtful look on her face. It's like I discovered a part of myself I never knew existed. It feels so right, Mom. I'm so happy for you, sweetie. Elizabeth reached over and squeezed her daughter's hand. This is who you were always meant to be. I just helped you unlock that part of yourself. You did. Andrea turned to her, her eyes shining in the dim light of the car. And I can't thank you enough, Mom. You've given me a gift I never knew I needed. I feel complete. Elizabeth pulled into the driveway and turned off the ignition, the car falling silent. She turned to her daughter, her heart full. It was my pleasure, honey. Seeing you happy like this is all I've ever wanted. And remember, this is just the beginning. There's so much more princess treatment to come. I can't wait. Andrea grinned, a look of pure excitement on her face. Bring on the dresses, the makeup, and all the frills. I'm embracing my new life, Mom, and I have you to thank for it. Elizabeth stepped out of the car and opened Andrea's door, offering her hand to help her daughter out. Well, your princess training continues, my dear. We have a lot more ground to cover, and I intend to spoil you rotten. Spoil me? Andrea took her mother's hand, stepping out of the car with a graceful swing of her robe. I can't wait to see what you have in store, Mom. I trust you completely. Elizabeth led her daughter into the house, a warm feeling of satisfaction washing over her. Oh, I have a few ideas, Princess, and we're just getting started. The days that followed were a whirlwind of princess pampering. Elizabeth indulged her daughter with manicures, pedicures, and luxury baths. She guided Andrea through the intricacies of skincare, hair care, and the art of choosing the perfect outfit. It was a mother-daughter bonding experience like no other, and their relationship blossomed. Mom, look! Andrea twirled in front of the full-length mirror in their living room, a vision in a flowing purple gown. Doesn't the cut of this dress just accentuate my waist perfectly? It certainly does, honey. Elizabeth nodded approvingly, her eyes sparkling with pride. You have an eye for these things, don't you? I guess I do, Andrea laughed, her eyes shining. I never thought I'd enjoy dressing up so much. It's like playing dress up as a kid, but so much better. Well, you are my living doll now. Elizabeth smiled, stepping forward to adjust the fall of the skirt. And a very beautiful one at that. Mom! Andrea's cheeks flushed, but she clearly relished the compliment. I feel so glamorous. What shoes did you pick out for this one? I thought these would be perfect. Elizabeth held up a pair of silver strappy heels, the light catching on the rhinestone embellishments. Ooh, sparkly! Andrea giggled, taking the shoes from her. I feel like Cinderella getting ready for the ball, except in this story, the prince is definitely a princess. Elizabeth laughed, a warm, happy sound. Indeed she is. Now let's get those on, and we can work on your walk. A princess needs to glide, not stomp. You know, Mom, I was thinking... Andrea began as she sat at the vanity table, carefully applying a deep red lipstick with a steady hand. She had quickly become a pro at makeup, picking up techniques with impressive speed. Elizabeth looked up from the outfit she was laying out on the bed, a delicate cream lace number that she knew would look stunning on her daughter. Well, now that I have embraced my true self, Andrea paused, her eyes reflecting in the mirror as she considered her words. I was wondering if I should think about changing my name legally, to really complete the transformation. Elizabeth paused, considering her daughter's words.
That's a big step, honey. Have you thought about it a lot?
I have.
Andrea nodded, her expression determined.
I feel like Andrea suits me so much better. It's who I am now, and it would be a way to honor this new life you've helped me create.
Elizabeth felt a lump form in her throat. This was a true testament to the depth of her daughter's transformation and acceptance of her new identity. Of course, sweetheart. If that's what you want, I fully support you. It's a wonderful way to solidify this new chapter in your life.
Really?
Andrea's eyes lit up, and she turned to face her mother, her face alight with hope. You'd be okay with that? Of course. Elizabeth stepped forward, taking her daughter's hands in hers. I want you to be true to yourself, Andrea, and if that means a legal name change, then we'll make it happen. I'll help you every step of the way. Thank you, Mom. Andrea's voice was thick with emotion, and she threw her arms around her mother, hugging her tightly. This means the world to me. Elizabeth returned the embrace, her eyes suddenly misty. You're so welcome, honey. I just want you to be happy and comfortable in your own skin, and if a name change helps with that, then it's a small thing to do. It's not a small thing, Mom. Andrea pulled back, her eyes shining with unshed tears. It's huge! It's like the final piece of the puzzle. I'll truly be myself then. Then it's settled. Elizabeth smiled, her heart full. We'll look into the process, and before you know it, Andrea will be your legal name. Andrea beamed, a look of sheer joy on her face. Thank you, Mom, for everything. I feel like my life has truly begun. It has, honey. Elizabeth squeezed her daughter's hands. And I can't wait to see where this new life takes you, Princess. The legal name change process was smoother than they had anticipated, and before long, Andrea held the certificate bearing her new name in her hands. It was a powerful moment, a tangible symbol of her transformation and a fresh start. I can't believe it's official, Mom. Andrea traced her fingers over the embossed lettering of the certificate, a wide smile on her face. Andrea Grace Wilson. It's perfect. It certainly is. Elizabeth smiled, her eyes misty as she looked at her daughter. A new name for a new life, honey. I'm so proud of you. Thank you, Mom. Andrea hugged her, the certificate clasped tightly in her hand. For everything. Your support, your love. I don't know where I'd be without you. You're so welcome, sweetie. Elizabeth held her close, breathing in the scent of her daughter's shampoo. I'm just happy to see you embrace your true self. That's all a mother could ever want. They celebrated that night with a special dinner, just the two of them, toasting to new beginnings and the future that lay before Andrea. It was a joyous occasion, a milestone in their journey together. To Andrea, the newest princess on the block, Elizabeth raised her glass, her eyes shining with pride and love. To Andrea, her daughter echoed, her voice thick with emotion. And to the best mom in the world, I love you. I love you. Elizabeth's voice was soft, and they clinked their glasses together, a toast to the unbreakable bond between them.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!